and they've shared over $3 billion of each other's medical bills. So yes, they can help share your needs too. So you're not stuck. There's an excellent alternative, whether you're single or married, you got a family. MediShare is super flexible. You can choose an option that works for you and start saving lots of money. You can join anytime. They're great to talk to, no pressure. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
A new poll finds there's a lack of enthusiasm among Democrats for presidential frontrunner Joe Biden. The ABC News Washington Post poll says Biden is the Democrats' top choice for the presidential nomination, getting 51% support over 42% for Bernie Sanders. However, strong enthusiasm for Biden was found to be at only 24%, the lowest on record for a Democratic presidential candidate in the 20 years of ABC News Washington Post polling. The number of 2020 Atlantic hurricane season storms is predicted by one group of experts to fall between 14 and 18. That's according to AccuWeather forecast reports published this week. It's meteorologists and hurricane experts saying of that number, 7 to 9 can be expected to become hurricanes. As always, the season will begin on June 1st. It runs through November 30th. And you're listening to USA Radio News.
You know, I told you I get the best sleep of my life with my MyPillow, but I'm not the only one. Mark in Las Vegas told me the other day, we were talking about other business. He says he went to MyPillow.com, clicked on the radio listener special, and used the promo code USA. He got a great deal on a MyPillow, and he is enjoying his sleep now. You can too. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, and I promise you, you'll get the best sleep of your life, or you'll get your money back.
A new report claims a date's been set for the Tokyo Olympics that were postponed from this summer because of the coronavirus outbreak. NHK News says the International Olympic Committee and Japanese organizers are planning to set the opening date for July 3rd of next year, and the closing date would come on August 8th. The report did not identify its sources. The IOC and the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe had agreed to postpone the Games for at least a year because of the pandemic, but it will be the first postponement of the Games since the modern Olympics began in the 19th century. Veteran soap opera actor John Callahan has died. He was best known for playing Edmund Gray on ABC's All My Children.
You just asked Aiden to spend the night because he thought it would make Maddie feel more safe.
He saved your life. He saved Maddie's life. Right now, that's all that matters, nothing else.
Soap Opera Digest reports he recently died at 66 from a stroke in Rancho Mirage, California. He also appeared on Santa Barbara before joining All My Children. And Nickelodeon has a show coming up to help kids understand the coronavirus pandemic. The Nickelodeon Town Hall will be held tomorrow night, Monday night, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern, and will be hosted by actress Kristen Bell, and her guests will feature some top medical experts. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
3, 2, cancel. Cancel. 2, 7, 0. There.
What's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro News, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro in Review for March 29th. Final Sunday in March. And next week will be April. Can't believe it's already April, or it's almost going to be April. Where has the past couple of months gone? So, we have a great show planned for you today. We have some sports to talk about. We have a couple of sports stories that I think are going to be interesting for everyone to listen to today. We have Dawn's daily rant as Dawn walks in the door today. And how are you, Dawn?
Good, Joe. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Which mic are you going to be on today?
Red.
Red mic. Sounds good. We got you up. And
Morning, everybody.
welcome to the show, Dawn.
Thank you, Joey. How you doing this morning? All right.
I'm doing well.
Good.
I'm doing
A
well.
little rain out here this morning. You do realize we still are in the center of the universe, right?
Yes, we are. We
Yeah.
still are. We're here in Taunton.
Taunton Green.
We're
So,
14 Church Green here at Taunton Federal Credit Union.
the WVBF studios. The new WVBF studios, which are beautiful. These are great. Beautiful, beautiful setup. And really nice set of studios. Bunch of rooms. Got a conference room here. Great place. Beautiful.
Absolutely. So we have a great show for you today. We're going to start with a little story that I think is a really good thing during these trying times. Texas Roadhouse CEO forgoes his salary for 1 year to pay workers amid the coronavirus. So Texas Roadhouse CEO and founder Kent Taylor will give up his pay for the rest of the year so that the money can go to frontline workers amid an industry crunch due to restrictions aimed at slowing the spread of COVID-19, according to reports. To help struggling employees amid the coronavirus pandemic, the steakhouse chain executive will forego his pay from March 18th, 2020 to January 7th, 2021, Market Watch reported on Wednesday.
That's awesome. That's again, people stepping up to the plate like no one's you never seen ever. So I hope that continues because I mean, I'm not the guy's accountant. I don't know what he has in the bank, but if he can do that, then I think a lot of CEOs out there can do the same, in my opinion. And because you're nothing without your employees. I mean, he can't run all those restaurants by himself. He needs, he needs cooks. He needs kitchen help. He needs bartenders. He needs waitresses, waiters. So you're nothing without your people. So that's something that's, I think a lot of these CEOs should take stock on, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
I mean, they do give these people a job, which is good too. You can't forget that. But when people are hurting, because you really don't want to lose good people. I mean, if you have a restaurant or a bar and things are going well, and you got a good crew and things are gelling, the good chemistry's there, why would you want to lose these people? The company I work for, I know my employer. He really appreciates me. I've been there for years. I've been, it'll be like 17 years now. And he appreciates me because he knows I do a good job and I don't have any problems or whatnot. And my employer's always been there for me. He makes sure, I have enough sick time and I got some vacation time and pays me well. And he helps with the health insurance. I mean, he's a good employer. He's a good man. And there's a lot of people out there who are good. And if you can afford it, do something. Just went to Dunkin' Donuts, got some nice coffees. I gave them a $4 tip. They're out there. They need it. I'm sure their hours got cut down more, too, because it's the drive-through. I'm sure they got cut down because they don't have as many people. And plus, they don't want to have as many people. They don't want to have 5-6 people behind the counter at Dunkin' Donuts or any kind of place because of what's going on. So there was 2 in there. So it's important. It's important because people need help. No one's ever seen this before, ever. So that's good. That's a inspiring story. I'm glad you started out with that, Joe.
Yeah, I think it's really important to highlight these stories as well.
Yes, that's a good product, and I like their product. To be honest with you,
Yes, their product is good.
it is good. Yeah.
So, we have some sports to talk about. But first, before we talk about sports, let's talk about the weather. Right now, I just checked the weather before we went on the air. 45 degrees. It is raining a little bit out there. Hopefully, it clears up today. And hopefully, the week looks good as well. We have about average temperatures around this time right now. Not too warm and not too cold. So that is good news. Very good news. Believe the high for the next 10 days is going to be 61 and the low 33. So right around average for this time of year, which is a good thing for sure. So it's 15 past. We're going to take a quick break. And when we return, we are going to talk about sports. We will be right back here on WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, Middleboro in Review.
We got the PSAs, same as last week.
Yeah. Go print out my log.
You didn't print it out yet?
I didn't have a chance to. Let's print out the Texas Roadhouse thing. I wanted to get this out of the way first. What I wanted to start off with, because I thought that was extremely important to start off with. Alright, we're back.
DK Driscoll Removal Services is a company to call to get any cleanup you may need to do around your house done any time of the year. You can call them at 508-725-2334. They remove construction debris, metals, railroad ties, tires, appliances, paints, and much, much more, like concrete, brick, asphalt, yard removal, brush, logs, and leaves. Also basements, attics, garages, houses, and property in general. Again, the number is 508-725-2334.
Log, and we're good to go.
Call them today. You will not be disappointed in DK Driscoll Removal Services.
Might as well do 15 and 45 today for commercials.
TJ Driscoll
You right on.
Construction.
Right on target.
Yeah, right on target, 15.
Serving the South Shore area.
Keep going,
and
though.
Cape Cod
Make sure that
for 30 years.
we're good on the
They
other side,
specialize
too.
in septic repair and landscaping.
I don't think I finished Scott Street.
TJ Driscoll Construction at 508.
Do you have a chance to read up on Robert Moses a little?
7966.
Nah.
Septic repair.
Not enough. Not enough to do a segment.
No, I'm just saying. What'd you learn?
Excavation.
Yes.
Lawn installation.
I pretty much learned
Shrub installation.
what you learned.
So just tell me if you didn't read, Joe.
Again, the number
pretty sure.
is
I didn't read it.
508-735.
Nah,
I didn't read that.
I watched a couple YouTube videos. That's about it. That's about it. I didn't have enough time to get a segment together with that. We'll do it next week for sure. I'll make sure I get it.
No, don't worry about it.
No, I'll get it done. It's just
Well, no, it's just,
it wasn't gonna be this week.
583-1495. They're open.
I already had a show put together.
8 to 5 and 8 to 4
So, you know.
on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be
I
disappointed.
don't think it's a good time to start talking about eminent domain anyway.
14.
Yeah, you don't want people calling in like getting 7 million
The
calls.
virus that causes coronavirus disease is spreading in some of our communities. This disease, also known as COVID-19, is thought to spread mainly from person to person through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Take steps to lower your risk of getting sick. Here are some things you should do. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. You can also use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Take extra measures to put distance between yourself and others. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Stay home if you're sick, except to get medical care. If you have severe symptoms, please call 911.
I was gonna say, Williams Trading Post opens this week, but I don't know if they're gonna, because of
wear a
this.
face mask if you're sick and around other people.
Well, see if they open anyway.
If you need
I'll call them tomorrow, see if they're open.
Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces. Older adults and people who have severe chronic medical
Big Trump's got to drop the hammer. He's
heart
got to
or lung
quarantine
disease
a couple states,
or
I think, Monday.
diabetes are at higher
And
risk
open
for
the rest of the
more
country up.
serious illness from COVID-19.
I think it's going to happen.
This group should consult with their
They
healthcare
should probably give it
provider
a week,
about
probably give 2
additional
weeks,
steps
and then
to
open
stay
that up.
protected. For more
Yeah, so we're
information
still
on
at 12
COVID-19,
for Middleboro
please visit
when it comes to cases.
cdc.gov/COVID-19.
The 2020 census is here, and Palcus wants to remind every Portuguese American to fill in the census form so that you are accounted as Portuguese.
The last commercial, or are you doing Jim?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing Jim now.
Is that what was on the log?
Yeah, this one's on the log. Yes.
Who puts the log together, Chris?
Oh yeah, census is due. So 31 days in March. Okay, so Monday to Wednesday.
Well, I'm sure people have enough time to fill the form out.
Yeah. Wednesday. Wednesday's the 1st, I think. So, yeah. Wednesday. Let's do Wednesday.
330-2020. Your answers are given to no one, and they're private and secure. Make Portuguese count in the 2020 census. Answer online, by mail, or toll free by phone. 844-330-2020.
5-2. Still got this commercial.
Every Sunday from noon to 2 o'clock here on WBBF, the sounds of the Emerald Isle. We'll have some great Irish music, some folk, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes some live singers in the studio. And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2 right here on WBBF, 1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dozer. I'm the Public Relations Officer for the local Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association chapter.
That's his
2-2.
nickname.
I'm here to inform you
How old
of
is
a
the
ride
guy?
that you don't want to miss.
I
May 30th,
don't know. I think he's in his 30s.
Second annual
Is he a veteran?
Ride for Homes motorcycle run in support of Habitat for Humanity.
What day did they say?
Habitat for Humanity
29th of May.
is a nonprofit
30th of May?
29th of May. Or 30th of May, yes.
Doesn't look like it's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. I'll pull the plug on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him
Yeah,
in a couple weeks. Give him a call.
2-2. Or check out our new website at
And see if it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen, I'll pull the commercial.
That's a good
Go back to the other
connection you
one.
have for PSA anyway, huh?
Yeah, it's good PSA.
It'd be great to go on the show when all this stuff blows over.
Yeah.
in Middleboro, the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. So come on down.
3, 2, 0. Enter. Mic back up. Okay. Four, 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to Middleboro in Review. It's March 29th, which means this is the final Sunday of March. And we are 3 months through the year already. Where has the year gone?
First quarter.
First quarter is over. Almost. Where has the time gone? Wow. So
I think for a lot of people, the last 2 weeks has been an eternity, though.
yeah. Tuesday will be the 1st of April. So that is wait a minute. No, Wednesday, I believe, will be the 1st of April. I'm sorry. Not Tuesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah,
Wednesday.
Yeah, 31 days.
This is 31 days in March.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to remember that. I have
30
to
days in January.
I have to remember
No,
that
30 days in September, April, June, and November.
I have to remember that particular.
Right, it's always been a little song. 30 days in September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except February, which is 28.
Or 29 in a leap year.
Well, leap year is 29, which happened to be this year. 2020 was a leap year.
Yeah.
The extra day. What are you going to do with that extra day? What did you do with that extra day?
Nothing. I didn't do anything with it.
Oh, boy.
So, April 1st, Wednesday, the census is due. So if you haven't filled it out, definitely fill it out.
There's a lot of people,
very important.
Yeah, a lot of people at home. I think you might have a little time to do it, right?
Yep, and we played a PSA during the break as well about the census.
It's important because...
So it is very important for everyone to do it.
You want to get what's coming. Your communities, your areas, your districts. You want to get what's coming, so it's good that we get a good report of what's going on, how many people we have in the country.
Absolutely, it is very important that we get this
They
information.
do it every 10 years.
Yep. So, sports segment. We have
a sports segment, Joe?
We have quite a bit of sports
Quite
to
a
talk
bit of
about.
sports.
Talk about.
I gotta hear this.
I was listening to something this morning on a network, and they were talking about the NBA and how they could possibly get back to playing. So they mentioned China and their basketball team and their basketball league, that they're already starting to do games again. And what they're doing is they're putting teams in two different areas. I don't know how many teams are in the league that's in China, but they're putting teams in two different areas of China, and they're having them play games in just those two locations.
You mean clean locations?
Yes, clean location, yes.
So what are they going to do about the players? What, they got to lock them at the end of the game? They got to lock them in a warehouse? I mean, in China, I guess you can get away with that because
they're putting them in a bubble where, these two areas are clean. I don't think that system would work in the NBA.
It might, because money's money, Joe.
It could.
And people want their sports.
Yes, it could, but I just don't see it. In just my opinion, I don't see it. I don't see why you would do that.
I think the best thing to do is just everyone lay low and get rid of this so we can get back to normal. Because not to interrupt your sports segment there, but it's already sardine hour on the subway usually. So how many people are going to come back and ride the subway at close quarters again, like in Boston and New York? How long is that going to take? Because our infrastructure is stretched to the limit as far as, buses, trains, everyone's on top of each other. I mean, the equipment we have just makes it. It's technically at a breaking point. And, I mean, we've all ridden the subway. You've ridden the subway with me.
Yep.
When it was busy. Rush hour, Boston, rush hour, New York. Any major city that has a subway or even commuter rail. Sometimes you got to stand on some of these commuter rails because they got lack of trains or whatnot. People are standing in the vestibules and in the hall, on the seats, and everyone 3 seats. They got 3 seats on the older commuter rail cars. That's pretty tight. You go back to Boston Garden or even Fenway, the whole seats are so on top. Everyone's on top of each other.
Yeah.
So we've always been so close. And that's why we've always had flus and people are sick. Millions of people sick over the course of years. This just happens to be very contagious. That's the whole exercise emergency about what's going on with COVID-19. But I wonder how fast people are going to be to get on top of each other again and then get close and be on the subway. And because our infrastructures can't handle all the people. They could just barely handle all the people before. With crowded subway cars, crowded platforms, crowded everything. And now everyone is 6 feet apart. And The only way you're gonna have to do that for the foreseeable future for everyone to get well. So it's gonna be interesting on the transportation part, how you get a lot of these people back to work, because the highways can't handle it. Man, I'm not sure what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to come up with some ingenious ideas, and they come up with a lot of them. Everyone, the federal government, the state government, local governments, they pulled no punches. They're going through all the red tape. So what's that tell you? It's just too much red tape around here? When you can cut through the red tape like instantaneously to fix a problem? Right?
Yeah.
They're fixing problems because they're cutting through all the red tape. That slows everything down. It just slows the wheels of progress down. Slows everything down. They're cutting all the red tape. So maybe everyone could learn from this.
Absolutely. So,
back to sports.
Yes, back to sports. NASCAR is holding another virtual race today. It's coming from the virtual Texas Raceway. And it will be today on FS1. I'm not exactly sure the time, but if you turn on FS1 and look through the schedule, you'll definitely find it for today. Also, ESPN is going to air another classic WrestleMania. Well, kind of classic. It happened 4 years ago. WrestleMania 32 will be re-aired on ESPN tonight at 7 p.m. Also, in local sports, a lot of the local cable channels are replaying older sports events. I've seen this on Middleboro's cable station. I've seen that they've played old baseball games.
Local?
Local, yes. Local, Middleboro has replayed old baseball games on their local television. Mostly the Middleboro Educational Television. And also, I think football as well. I'm not 100% sure if they have replayed some football games, but I did remember seeing one this week.
What was it? High school football?
High school football, yes.
Okay, yeah.
High school football. So a lot of the local stations are replaying old sports games from their respective schools. And I think that's a good thing too, to keep sports on TV, even though it's not live. Maybe to replay some old classics that people want to see again, and I think that's a good thing. I've seen a lot of classic games be replayed on stations. I've seen ESPN replay college football games from last season. I've seen MLB Network replay classic playoff games. Before I left this morning, they were replaying a classic game from, I believe, 1986. So, a lot of these stations, a lot of the sports stations are replaying classic games. And also Nesson too. Nesson is replaying the old Beanpot Championship games as well. I believe this morning they had the 2003 Beanpot Championship. So that was Boston University and Boston College from 2003, 17 years ago. So a lot of stations are replaying old sports. And I think that's a good thing. What are your thoughts?
I think it's good too. I mean, that's all they got, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing new. I heard sumo wrestling's going on in Japan. That went on last week with no audience, of course.
Yep.
So I heard that on a radio station this week. Actually, they were talking about it, and but we'll get through this all, people. It's we'll get through this. We're Americans and we're strong and we'll be just fine. We just practice your social distancing. Sorry, and right. I usually, you notice I'm on red mic. I'm never on red mic. Why am I on red mic, Joe?
Because you're across from me.
So yeah, right. I'm as far away, and I usually hang around the radio station while you do the rest of your shift because you do all the morning shows up till 12 o'clock, and then Jim comes in and does his show. And I'm gonna go sit in the truck. I've been sitting in the truck the last three weekends. Just get out of here. Just don't. I mean, I'm sure me and you were fine or whatever. We live in the same house or whatnot, but still, if someone else walks in, it's just good. I mean, just for now, just best thing to do is separate. So after the show, I go out and sit in the parking lot and go look at train videos for 3 hours. But that's all right. But it's important. And also one thing too. I'm sorry, Joe. Are you done with sports? I'm just.
Yes, I am done with my sports
No
segment.
axe throwing this week?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Just want to say one more thing about the supermarkets. Again, seems like the people who work at the supermarkets are the last bastion of crowds. I know they're trying to limit the amount of people that go in, but there's still going to be over 25 in one store, or 30 or 50 at one given time. I know in a few supermarkets they always put the plastic up between the cashiers and the people, but they got the 6 feet distancing for the line. Again, usually when you wait in line, you're right next to the other guy, 6 feet apart. And I heard that some of these supermarkets are coming in with the plexiglass maybe this week coming up this week. And so they're doing, I went to an automotive store yesterday and they had, it was funny because I walked up and they had the credit card machine up on like some boxes like maybe 6 feet from the counter. And they had like a little cart, so I put my order on the cart. I bought a couple cans of Fix-A-Flat. And then he grabbed the cart, did his transaction, and sent it back to me. So we weren't, we weren't 6 feet apart. So they're doing that. So there's ways to stay in business. And people are being smart. And I think if people do this, it will go away.
So I want to, before we end our sports event, there is one more thing. I want to mention that today in history, March 29th, 1984, the Baltimore Colts load their possessions into 15 Mayflower moving trucks in the early morning hours and transfer its operations to Indianapolis. So this was the end of the Baltimore Colts. That was 36 years ago today. The end of the Baltimore Colts.
That's it, huh?
Yep. 1984. March 29th, 1984.
Headed west.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. We also have another interesting today in history as well that we're going to hold off on until the end of the show. It involves a soda, an iconic soda.
Let me guess. Can I guess?
Yes.
Jolt.
No, an iconic soda
that
everyone knows about.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That everyone knows about.
That what?
That everyone knows about, that a majority of Americans probably have had at one time or another.
Yeah.
And it is an iconic soda. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the show. Because it's...
you got me going here.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I'm gonna.
You gonna talk about the soda?
I'm gonna talk about one particular event in the soda's history, which was the beginning of it all. Towards the end of the show.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave you hanging a little bit, but
leave me hanging.
We will get to it. I promise.
All right.
What we have to get to now is a commercial break. So. You're listening to Middleboro in Review on 99.7 FM, 1530 AM, We're also on TuneIn. If you search Hometown Talk Radio, you will find us. And also our Audio Now number, 605-562-7958. We will be right back.
What do they call that? Contracts?
What?
That thing in front of you? Just... The microphone.
The microphone, I don't know what that is in front of me.
Contracts, I think.
I guess so.
Yep.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I gotta mention
Hi, this is Jim Larkin.
I gotta mention Talking Birds when we come back.
From noon to 2 o'clock here on WBBF, the sounds of the Emerald Isle. We'll have some great Irish music, some folk, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes
Chris.
some live singers in the
How are
studio.
you?
And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2, right here on WBBF, 1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
Alright, 4-0.
Spar Street Auto Body.
Sounds good.
That was great, yeah.
When you're using like your music elements, like you have your, try talking over it a little bit.
Yeah.
Bet it on you. Otherwise, it sounds good.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, Dawn.
How you doing, sir? Not Dad, but Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah.
Well, I've worked in businesses where a father and son ran it.
Yeah.
And if you were talking to like Greg, he wouldn't say my dad, he'd say Hugh, because it's a business thing.
You want to sit in?
Well, I'll have to talk to Hugh about it.
You want to sit in with us?
Do you want to sit in for a few minutes?
I could. I'm just going to check it. I got to retool some logs. We got some changes coming.
You could tell us about the Talking Birds.
I'll sit right
I
here.
haven't
Joey,
said
switch
anything.
over to yellow mic.
Okay, I haven't said anything about Talking Birds
Yeah,
yet.
promos are cut, by the way.
Okay.
And, they will begin. Matter of fact, I'm going to have that at one point because I have to find some cards.
So I'll throw it over to you about the Talking Birds.
You got me on yellow mic, Joe?
Yeah, yellow mic? Yeah. Okay.
Green.
Alright, so I think
we don't have any guests coming in, so we have a limited pool of people that are here. So,
yeah.
pretty much, if you haven't gotten it from one of us before, then you're probably not going to at this point.
Yeah.
It's the way I look at it. I still wipe down everything. But.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dozer. I'm the public relations officer for the local combat veteran motorcycle.
Headphones working good?
Yeah.
I'm here to inform you of a ride that you don't want to miss.
What do they call it? That a contract? That thing speaker there?
Ride for homes, motorcycle.
Yeah, I wiped down these headphones a lot of times too. Yeah, they're holding up well.
Chris, is that what they call a contract?
This.
A what?
This little protective thing. What do they call this?
Contract? With the microphone is.
Yeah, this protective thing.
Yeah, it's basically a pop screen is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
You should be popping your posters. You'll see them in recording studios.
Yeah.
You should be pointing the mic directly through it, so you get.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. It's a pop screen. It's really not meant to do a lot of, but it can.
Looks cool.
It does.
You see them in
like
recording
it.
studios.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let's get you to pop.
The 2020 census is here, and PalBest wants to remind every Portuguese American to fill in the census form so that you are counted as Portuguese in the 2020 census. By law, everyone living in the United States is
197.
But yeah, Ray cut us some really good promos. It's because it's going to be running on Saturday and Sunday.
Do you have it on the instant replay? Maybe I can.
No, I don't have it yet. I just got it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna need this so I'm gonna have to move your. You need one of. See what's behind that? That's actually mine, but behind the clock.
Yeah.
You need one of those from them. They're like $8 from Amazon, and they work on anything, up to like a 10-inch or 11-inch tablet. Got a couple of them.
Yeah, I gotta buy one of those.
The other tablet that I use just to stream the news in the morning. That's all it does.
Coming back.
Yeah, this one's making its exit this weekend.
This one?
But an opioid, another PSA from the FDA on opioid abuse, and get rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
We are going to be taking President's Day off.
Okay.
But what I'll do is I'll come in. There'll be a chance for me to spend some quality time with these guys in the afternoon, and then leave it set up, and then that'll be it.
Did you say President's Day?
President's Day. Yeah.
When is that?
You mean not President's Day?
Yellow mic?
No, Patriots Day.
Green mic.
Patriots Day. Sorry, the 20th, I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's early.
3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back here on Middleboro in Review. We're here with Dawn, and we are joined by Chris Keach. How you doing, Chris?
Good morning, Joey.
So,
Good morning, Chris.
we have a program change on Sundays, Chris.
Yeah, the Father Peyton Ministry is no longer going to be doing the programs with us that they've been doing, the Family Theater, which has been done for years. It was their decision to do that, by the way. We wanted to continue, but they said, no, please pull the programming. We still have a ton of their programs, so we're not throwing those out just in case. But beginning next weekend, and this is going to be at 8 o'clock on Saturdays, and it's going to be at 9 o'clock. Oh, no, excuse me. It's going to be 8. Let me get this right. It's going to be at 8 o'clock on Saturdays, 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings. And we're going to start right at the top of the hour because it is a 30-minute program. It's going to be the return of Ray Brown's Talking Birds, which is produced right here in Massachusetts. It is a great show. It's about wildlife, conservation, and birds. And it's a very, you think, how interesting can a bird show be? This is very well done, and it's very interesting. And if you've heard it before, but I've been talking to Ray and the folks there, and Ray said, oh, we're glad to have you come back and be with you weekends. So that's going to be great. It's beginning next weekend here at WBBF. So we're psyched about that.
Yeah, it's a fun program to listen to. I really love the program, and you're going to love it too.
So, but you'll be hearing promos about it. Ray cut us some specialty promos. Yay. It's nice. And we'll start running those next week, making some program. There's been a lot of changes here. I heard you guys talking about the new studios, how the world has changed in the last, 20 days? Not even 20 days.
20 days. Yeah,
but maybe 20 days.
Yeah.
The entire world has changed.
Talk about the red tape. It's funny that red tape is getting cut through like nobody's business. It's
oh yeah, with drug. Hey, we want to do a drug. Here's the thing: voting by mail. How many years have you heard people say, we had a primary election, 7% of people showed up, and that was a good turnout for a primary. Now, I think some of the things you're going to see stay is going to be more social distancing in the future, period. I don't think you're ever going to go back to people crowding into one another. You're going to see more social distancing. You're going to see checkouts that have plexiglass screens that are going to be complete. You're going to see more deep cleaning of surfaces, more awareness of that. And you're going to see additions, at least the one thing that I've said is going to continue is if they do balloting by mail, it's going to be awfully hard to go back to not doing it.
right.
Because once you've done it, I mean, if I voted absentee before and I voted on a permanent absentee list where they mail you the information and you just put a couple of stamps on it and send it back. Believe me, that's awesome. 3 weeks before the election, you get your ballot, you fill it out, you sign it. It's like an affidavit form. I've signed it, blah, blah, blah. Put it in the envelope, a couple stamps in it, you send it off, and it's done. You voted.
I think that might cut down on fraud too because they're sending it to your house.
Yes, they are.
They got a name
and since the Postal Service has to do it, they're not going to say, "Hey, look, there's not a Bob Driscoll, a Jim Driscoll, a Joey Driscoll, a Joseph Driscoll, all here at the same." In other words,
right.
Something's going on here.
Right.
And they'll start returning it to the registrar of voters, and they'll say, "Wait a second here." Because don't forget this last election, 2016. People don't forget that. I know that Donald Trump's campaign drew a lot of criticism for it, but he pointed out, and I think quite rightly, that there are states with like thousands and thousands of people on the voter rolls that are dead. They never remove them because people don't think about it, right? Dad passes away. The last thing you're thinking about is going down to the voter registrar's office and saying, "Hey, by the way, take my dad's name off the list." Or take my mom's name off the list, right? it's a tragedy, so you don't think about it. You just think about your grief and what's happening.
Would that be something that I think the authorities should do? The government, because someone passes away,
shouldn't it be automatic?
Shouldn't it be automatic?
Right, because certainly if you owed any estate tax, they know about it.
Same with driver's license.
Right?
Same with driver's license.
I would say as soon as the estate tax is triggered on somebody's with somebody's name or in other words, you want to collect an estate tax from my dad's estate, right? One of the things that has to be associated with it is make sure he's out of the RMV database.
Right.
Make sure that I think Social Security is notified upon the commission of a death certificate. I think they're automatic. And I think that's one of the things that they use to clean up some of the voter rolls there is actually a Social Security deaths list.
Right. It should spider out.
Yeah.
And pretty much.
But it doesn't. They're a state. I once had to deal with a state agency, and they were like, and I'm like, look, I was talking to the federal government about this. They're saying no way. And you know what the woman said? They're the feds. We don't talk to them. And I said, okay, then I will find somebody that will talk to the feds for you. And it happened to be a state representative. And all of a sudden, within 24 hours, there was a big change of tune. It wasn't the same person, but it was like their supervisor. Oh, we don't want any trouble around here. And I said, then you'll do as I ask.
Right.
Because they've asked me to contact them if I have any more hassles with you.
Right.
No, now I hate to be a bully, but don't forget, this lady was like, hey, we know this isn't right, but I don't talk to the feds. I'm going to stay in New Hampshire.
There's no
oh, yeah?
There's no service.
Oh, yeah?
There's no service there. There's no...
No. People get...
No one's on the same page.
People get used to doing things the same way, right? Say you're in a business... Like, I always thought about this. Netflix, remember when they first opened? They shipped out CDs and stuff to people. Now, can you imagine in a situation like today what that would have done to their business? Hey, I'm not taking anything out of my mailbox that somebody else has handled, right? I don't know. Well, they went to the streaming model years and years ago, and I don't even know if they still do. I think they do have a very expensive option where you can they still send you the actual physical DVDs and whatnot.
Well, a lot of older people, aren't plugged in.
And things like that.
Right.
But I'm saying that at one point when people, they said, we're going to go from, basically a warehouse operation to an IT operation. We're going to go from physical DVDs to streaming. That there were people that worked and ran the warehouses that said, I don't like this. Right?
Right.
You're taking power away from me. And that's what happens. You can't, we have to start sharing information. Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make the phone call. I'm not going to. So you have to build it into the computer systems. But I would say, basically, if the Social Security system or anybody, any government entity, whether it's state or federal, is notified of a death and they have a proper death certificate, then you should start being removed from the voter rolls, the RMV rolls, everything. Any place where your name is showing up as being active.
Right.
Take them off. That person's deceased because that's how identity theft has a hold. Hey, some of these people will actually look through the obituaries from a couple of years ago. They'll go online and say, okay, that kind of fits me, sounds like me. I'll just adopt the guy's identity.
Right.
Come up with a fake Social Security number, fake an ID. It's been done.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like, what do you mean my dad just bought a house out in Reno?
Right.
He's been gone for 5 years. Well, some, scheming crook. But anyway, hey, great talking with you guys. I'm actually in here to do some Sunday type work.
Oh, great! You came in to talk. And
all right, take care.
All right, thank you, Chris.
So, we have about 7 minutes left in the program. Let's turn our attention to the Today in Histories.
Oh yeah, soda pop, right?
Soda pop, yes. So, but first we need to get to this particular Today in History. 1882, the Knights of Columbus is established. So they are an organization that helps communities, helps around the community with certain things. And they're kind of like a. How would you describe the Knights of Columbus? They're kind of like a.
Yeah, I mean they're like. I'd say the Knights of Columbus are like pretty much Sons of Italy, the Elks, all these different. They're just social club organizations, and they do a lot of charity. They do a lot of good.
They help around the community.
I belong to the Moose Lodge in Braintree myself, and they do a lot for children, and they do a lot of benefit. Actually, you filmed a couple of my benefit shows years back.
Yes, I did.
So we did one for breast cancer for one girl named Jenny, and then we did another one for a friend of Paul who had brain cancer, and raised money, and I'd say that's pretty much. It's just not a cheap place to go get beer or to have drinks. There's more than that. These organizations.
A lot more.
Yeah.
There's meaning.
There's a lot of meaning, and they do a lot for the community. I know the Moose Lodge does. Yeah.
All right, so the moment of anticipation is here. 1886. John Pemberton brews the first batch of Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
In a backyard in Atlanta.
Atlanta, huh?
Yep. First batch of Coca-Cola was made on this date in 1886.
I thought you were going to say RC Cola or something like
No.
that. Or there used to be I'm not sure if it's still around anymore, but there's a Tab. You remember Tab?
What?
Tab. You're too young to know Tab.
I don't know what
it was. It was a pink can, and I think it was a Coca-Cola product, but I'm not even sure if they make it. I've never seen the supermarkets for 30 years.
I don't even know if they make RC Cola anymore. I haven't seen it in the supermarket either.
I think they still
a while.
I think they still might. You
When's
go
last
to other
time-
parts of the country, and there's stuff on the shelves that you never see here.
When was the last time I had an RC Cola? I think it was 2 years ago. We were in New York, I think, and it came from someone who was selling that particular soda.
That's what I'm saying. We were in New York. We're probably upstate New York.
Yeah.
I think we were on our way up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
We stopped at a store somewhere.
And they were selling RC Cola.
And then we stopped at the Al Guthrie Cultural Center.
Yeah.
The church from the song, Ellis's Restaurant.
And it's a great church. If you have
that's
a
the
day...
Church, that's the church in the song.
Yep, if you have a day to go out there, that's definitely a place to go and
I believe it's
on
Route 41 in Great Barrington, Mass. And it is the church from the song. And he bought it in 1991 from the church. And it's a cultural center and performance center too. There's an intimate amount of seating in there, and I know he plays there every once in a while. I'm not too sure. We'd like to try to go there sometime, but it's great. And they have a little kitchen there, and they serve meals. And there's a couple pictures of Officer Obie up on the wall. Anybody who knows Officer Obie is the one who arrested him and his buddy for littering on that Thanksgiving, and I believe it was 1965. So,
wow.
That's a lot of folklore for that song and West Stockbridge, and it happened in West Stockbridge, but the Alice's Restaurant church was in Great Barrington, which is a good 15 miles away, and I just love that area because it's so much history, and it's like I said. Even the history for the 60s that Al Guthrie made just from a folk song.
Yeah, and definitely check out the song. There's two versions to the song, and both versions are really good versions to the song. There's the original version, and then there's a little bit of an updated version, which has a little bit of a different ending as well. So both versions are good.
And the tradition goes, they play it on Thanksgiving, and they have been for years. I know WBCN started that years ago, and then CLX picked it up. And I know AAF played it a couple times too. I think I heard the DJ say that. He says it's the only time you'll ever hear folk on this radio station. You probably won't hear it for another year. But we gotta play this. So it's always noontime on Thanksgiving, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatnot. But noontime is when, and we've always gone to the football games, and we'll always, even if we had to leave the game early, we'll always listen to always in front of the radio at 12 o'clock. I mean, you can put it on YouTube, or you can have it on tape or a CD or whatnot, and it's not the same as hearing it on Thanksgiving on the radio. It's a little special.
All right, so we have one more today in history. 1957, the New York, Ontario, and Western Railway makes its final run, the first major U.S. railroad to be abandoned in its entirety.
What year?
1957.
Oh, wow.
We have 3 birthdays today. John Tyler, American lawyer and politician, 10th President of the United States, born on this day in 1790. Born on this day in 1874, Lou Henry Hoover, American wife of Herbert Hoover, 33rd First Lady of the United States. And finally, the singer of the hit song Seasons in the Sun.
Terry Jacks.
Terry Jacks.
Yes.
Canadian singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer. And I have a little bit, few seconds to talk about Seasons in the Sun. Seasons in the Sun is an English language adaptation of the 1961 song by Belgian singer-songwriter Jacques Brel, with lyrics rewritten in 1963 by American singer-poet Rod McEwen, portraying a dying man's farewell to his loved ones. It became a worldwide hit in 1974 for Canadian singer Terry Jacks, and became a Christmas #1 in the UK in 1999 for a band called Westlife. So this song has a lot of history, not just because of Terry Jacks, but because of the original singer.
61, 74, and 99.
Yes. So a lot of history.
Yeah,
with that particular song.
30, 30
and it's a beautiful song as well. Definitely go check it out. Terry Jacks, Seasons in the Sun. Really good song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of sad, but uplifting in its own way, too, I think.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So that'll do it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Guys and girls enjoyed.
And one more thing, it's just 6 feet apart. Be careful when you go to the supermarket. Just know what you want. Get in and out. Like I said, the supermarkets are the last bastion of where you really can't practice social distancing too much. I mean, they're trying, but there's just so many people in the supermarket. Know what you want. Get in and out. The people who work at supermarkets, especially supermarkets now, and gotta be careful. And a shout out to all the nurses and doctors and all the healthcare professionals who are on the front lines working tirelessly to help and defeat this evil virus.
All right, so we will be back next week, April the 5th. So stay tuned for Bread of Life, which is coming up in just a few minutes. Thank you, everybody.
All right, I'm out of here.
I'm going to play a couple of PSAs, because it's 8:02, so I'm not going to play 3-minute news now. I'm just going to play a couple of PSAs and go right to the CD. So...
All right, I'll be up.
Bye, everybody.